What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the Thai Life channel. My name is Min Thai, and in this podcast, I want to share with you a story where I got scammed for $1,300. The reason why I want to share you guys this story is because, first of all, I don't want anything like that to happen to you. Secondly, all of a sudden, my wife went home from work yesterday. She was like, "Hey, babe, guess what? I told my coworker the moment when you got scammed for $1,300." They were laughing so hard, and I was like, "What? Why would you tell them that kind of story?" And she's like, "Oh, because one of my coworkers, she's going through it, so I figure I share your experience with them." I'm like, okay. And this is why I am sharing you my story today, is because I know the fact that if her coworker knows about my scamming story, the whole world is gonna know about that story. Because you know how they love to gossip. Let's not fake about that right there. But let me go ahead and tell you guys my version of this story, how I got scammed for $1,300. But before we start the show, you know how we like to get down. Go ahead and put your hand in the air, move your wrist back and forth, relax your mind, because we are about to have some awesome conversation today. All right, y'all. Everybody, let's go ahead and settle down real quick and calm it down. So look, the day when I got scammed, it was on a Monday, my day off. At that moment right there, I just had my salon business, full service salon, chic hair and nails. Things was going good. You know, I work 6 days a week, and I really enjoy my day off because I get to relax. For some reason, that day, my wife was off with me. You guys ever had a day where you know you were off with your significant other and you had all this planning, like we want to go out to eat, you want to go shopping, you want to go here, drive there. But then all of a sudden something happened and both of you guys are mad at each other. So that's what happened to me. For some reason, we got into an argument that day, on that Monday. I probably slept on the wrong side of the bed. I probably lay on the sofa too long. I probably say something that's unnecessary. But when the wife is mad at you, the world is upside down. Happy wife, happy life. And boy, ain't that the truth. That's the spanking truth. So she was mad at me. And when she's mad at me, I don't really talk to her. We just give each other the silent mode. We kind of walk around the house, you know, we kind of stare, look at each other, see what we're doing. Probably, you know, cuss a little bit in our head. So I went about my day, took a nap, lay on the sofa, closed my eyes a little bit, and all of a sudden I was gone. During my nap, I got a couple texts because I can feel my phone vibrating. So as I slowly getting up from the nap, my wife is still mad at me. I look at the text and I got a text from one of my employee. She say, "Hey, Min, PG&E call and saying you didn't pay the bills last month." And in my head, I am thinking like, what other worse can happen today? First, my wife is mad at me. Now I'm getting a phone call saying that I didn't pay the PG&E. But here's the crazy part. So when I call my employee back, I say, "What is going on?" She say, "PG&E call and say that they will shut off your electricity at 5 o'clock. Okay. Now, when I woke up from my nap, it was around 4:15. And I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, wait, they're going to shut off the electricity at 5? Do we have any clients? Do we have any appointment? And my coworker is like, "Yeah, we do. We have appointments. We can't have the light to shut down." And in my head, I'm like, oh, shit. What other thing that can really worse happen today? First, the wife is upset. Now I cannot tell her the fact that PG&E is going to shut my electricity down because I didn't pay for the bills. So in my head, I'm also analyzing that, hey, I have auto pay. How come they didn't get my bills? And I'm also thinking like, hey, it could be a system malfunction. So I call PG&E from the number that my employee gave me. And I look at the number, I call, they start out the tone, the lady saying, welcome to PG&E, blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden, an Indian gentleman pick up the phone. At this moment right here, I'm like, you know what? I don't want my wife to know what is going on. I have 45 minutes to solve this problem before they shut down my electricity. So now I'm walking outside the front house, calling this guy. I'm like, hey, man, what's going on? I thought I paid my bills last month. How come you guys say you guys didn't get it and you guys going to shut my electricity now? And then he played along with it, and he was like, well, we don't know what happened, but you do need to pay the bills because we're going to shut your electricity down. And I'm like, can we not do that? What can I do for you to not shut my electricity down? Because I have clients at my business. And that, well, what you can do is you can pay your amount that you owe. And on top of that, because you have like a ding for not paying, we're going to charge you a $500 extra. And in my head, like, what? Really? Yeah, because or else we're going to shut your electricity down. And I'm like, oh, man, the pressure is on. In the back of my head is I don't want my wife to know this. I don't. I need to solve this problem. So, I pull out my car. I'm like, hey, I'll give you my car. Boom, 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 boom. And the guys was like, oh, you know what? Our system doesn't work on the car over the phone. If you want to make this payment, you need to go get this specific gift card. So I was like, man, I got in my car. I drove to Vons. They didn't have that specific gift card. I went to Walgreens and they have it. First, I bought $300 gift card. The gift card you can buy maximum is $500. And then I bought the second gift card for $500 to pay the fines. And then after that, this guy was like, well, what we need to do is I don't know what he said. I totally forgot, but I just know that he wanted me to buy another gift card with $500 in it. So that's $1,300. So after I got the gift card, I'm like, all right, what do I need to do? And at this moment right here, it's past 5 o'clock, and he's telling me like, oh, we able to hold them from turning off the electricity for you so that you can make this payment. So in my head, I'm like, okay, cool. Everything's going to be all right. So I went ahead because at that moment right there, I'm like, you know what? Let's solve the problem. Who cares about the money? And then after I spent on the phone with them, giving them all the information on the gift card, I was like, oh, man, something felt wrong after that. It just didn't feel right. So I got home. My wife was like, where do you go? And I was like, oh, cool. She's talking to me. This is my opportunity to really share her the story that, hey, I saw some problem. And I tell her the whole story about how I didn't pay the bill. So she went into the app of the bank. She looked at it, like, yeah, you did pay for the bill. And I was like, that's when I knew I got scammed. That's when she knew I got scammed. And I was like, oh, man, this is just horrible. So she didn't talk to me. When the wife doesn't talk to you, that means she's really mad. See, when she's mad, she yells. But when she's really mad, she stays in this crazy silent mode where all hell is about to break loose. So, I try to prep talk myself. I'm like, you know what? We all make mistakes. This is a lesson learned. You got to be smarter. The lesson was like, you cannot put your personal feeling and your business feeling and mix together and make decision. That's just wrong, wrong, wrong. And that's what I did. So, the next day I start my day at work. I'm beat, telling my employee what happened. And of course, I got a text from my wife, like, let me remind you, she didn't say much, but the text she wrote to me was straight up forward. Whatever you did was pretty stupid. And I was like, all right, that's cool. I deserve that. I deserve that because I was being stupid. I should have talked to her, knowing that even if she was mad at me, but this was business. I should have discussed that with her before I made all this trip, wasting time, energy, and money. Hashtag bars. But you know what I'm talking about? But other than that, guys, I just want you to know this story before the whole world hears in a different tone. But other than that, thank you so much for listening. I hope none of this will happen to you. And I hope that you take my experience and really think through when you get these scammers calling you, because I don't want your time and money being wasted. Other than that, thank you so much.